Today is Free Range Man Day 8. So it is 1 week since my first day without a job. And for me, elk season ended this morning. I tagged out with a nice cow elk this morning. I think she hung at about, I think the hang weight was 300 pounds. I didn't get a weight on her before that. I would guess she was in the 400-pound range. Not a young cow, but a dry cow. So that is always a nice bonus that'll fill the freezer. On that note, thought I would make a couple comments. I do have some footage that I took this morning when I got the elk, but I'm gonna just kind of put up a warning here. If you're sensitive to that kind of thing, there's some blood. I don't have it. I didn't make a really gory video. It was just, but there's some blood. This is Free Range Man Day 8. Elk is down. Some misadventures led to this, but the elk is down. Turns out the 338, 378 Weatherby Magnum doesn't really require a follow-up shot. Anyways, she's down, she's tagged. Got a gutter now. I am not going to share this. So, the kill shot was made with this, the 338, 378 Weatherby Magnum. This is a 250 grain spear Grand Slam on 98.2 grains of Hodgson 4831. It left a very nice round hole on the way in, and it blew out, I don't know, maybe almost a 3-inch. Wasn't really a circle, it's more of an ellipse, but you know, a substantial exit wound. I didn't recover the bullet. It just, I didn't recover the bullet. It wasn't a bang flop, but she was easy to recover. So there we go. The Spear Grand Slam did its job. Honestly, this round hits hard enough that it tends to be devastating anyways. Like I killed an elk a couple of years ago, and it just looked like the bullet just kind of passed through. It wasn't truly penciled, but didn't look like it hit any vitals, but it was a bang flop. She was just down. So there we go. At the time, the only knife I had on me was this Spyderco. I think this is a Spyderco Endura. Someone gave me this knife like 20 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, a buddy of mine gave me this knife. Like, hey, I got an extra, you can have it. And that was kind of before, well, that was before I got into knives, and I think it was before knives were a big thing. So my buddy had picked this up, I think at a gun show, gave it to me, this little Spyderco Endura. And this is the only knife I had on me. So this is what I used to gut the elk. And then when we hung it up and skinned it, of course there were a few people working on the elk, so this isn't the only knife we used, but I used this knife for both gutting and skinning the elk today. And this is a good knife. I think I need to maybe get something a little more purpose built for hunting. Maybe a nice skinning knife would be a good idea. Maybe a nice like a gut hook would be nice. So I'll think about that. I have resisted buying expensive hunting gear in sort of a matter of principle, except for some things that I know I'm going to get my use out of. So I put quite a bit of money in a pack. I have a Mystery Ranch. It's a pop-up 38. I think it's a pop-up 38. I put obviously some money into my Weatherby Mark V, and there was something else too. I don't remember what it was, but I put in money where it seemed like it was wise to put in money, but I avoid spending money just for the sake of spending it. I try not to be a gear fanatic, but I'm afraid the two things that I may be realizing I need at this point are a better knife. Again, this is a great knife, but it was kind of pushed it to its limits. This knife was not designed to dress an elk. And I think I might need some better binoculars. The binoculars I have are some like old Nokias, and they were a good value, like good bang for your buck, but they're not really all that great, and they're pretty heavy. So I may be sinking some money into binoculars here soon too. I think that's all the update I have. So elk season's over. It's not over, but it's over for me. And really pleased with how the Spear Grand Slam performed. Like, it was great. I think it was like maybe a 50-yard shot. It was pretty close range, which with that rifle is a concern, right? Like there's always that fear of, you know, did you take something too close for the bullet to seem to work? Worked great. And you know, positive review on my little 20-year-old Spyderco Endura with the, you know, compound blade. This thing gutted the elk nicely, but it was a kind of difficult to clean after. It was a pretty messy knife. So that's it. That's the update from Free Range Man Day 8. It's still there's still a few days left in August, so with my, you know, unemployed freedom, I'm intending to spend more time paddling. We got out, I think it was last week, we got paddling. Well, it must have been this last week. We went out paddling. And it was the first time in probably 4 years that my canoes have been wet. So I'm really excited about getting those out, getting them going again. With September turkey season and upland fowl, and I think fur bearers are going to come into season. So I would like to do a little bit more hunting on that, but those are all long seasons, and I have some priorities I'd like to pursue. In the background here, you can see my Blackstone griddle, and I've been actually meaning to do some video about some of the stuff we do on that too, so maybe I'll pick that up. But there we go. That's my Free Range Man Day 8 update. Elk season's over. I'm super grateful. An elk goes a long way to filling the freezer, and frankly, I really love the taste of elk. I look forward to having some fresh elk.